Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, and in this video I'll be giving you part 2 of what I like about each of the signs. So in my last video I started with Pisces and ended on Libra. So if your sign is between Libra and Pisces, then you should check out my previous video. In this video I'll be giving part 2 and I'll be starting from Virgo to Aries. So let's get into this video. With Virgo, the one thing that I admire about Virgo is the fact that they really love themselves. They take care of themselves, and honestly, if we're being real, I have never met a Virgo who did not care about their looks. Now, this might seem a little bit superficial or shallow, but I actually admire them for their consistency and how much effort they seem to put into their overall appearance and their looks. And it gives them this youthful and young appearance. And I really like that about them. Also, Virgos are really good teachers. They know how to explain certain concepts and different things, which makes them really wise and well-spoken. Now we're going to talk about Leo. Now, what I love about Leo is that honestly, they have amazing social skills. I've met many Leos and I find them to be generous, friendly, kind, and just overall nice. But Leos sure know how to work a room. If you walk into a room, you'll probably find that there's this one person who has all eyes on them, and that's usually a Leo. Now, a lot of people only think of them as people who love attention, but honestly, even if they don't try, they also are somehow able to get attention, and they know how to draw a crowd of people to them. And I think it's really admirable because they have amazing social skills, and it's amazing how they're able to just gel with different people from different backgrounds. I also admire the effort that they put in all of the things that they do. Leos don't get a lot of credit for this, but they're very hardworking. And until you've met a Leo personally, you won't understand just how much effort they put into all of the things that they love, their projects, their work, their schoolwork. They really put a lot of effort into the things that they do, but I really just admire their social skills. And if you watch a Leo and how they interact with different people, you might learn a thing or two. Next sign is Cancer. I love Cancers. I am being very biased by making this video because I generally love Cancers. Cancers are just so cool. And I think a lot of people focus on their emotional side, but Cancers also have a very cool head. They are rational, they are smart, they are very wise, and they make good friends. But the one thing I admire about Cancers is their ability to stand up for the underdog. Now, Cancers have earned a reputation for being motherly, emotional, but they are actually very tough as well. Most of the Cancers I've met are super tough. They know how to stand up for you, and they make you feel safe and protected. And it's not just a feeling that they create, they also behave that way. If you're close to a Cancer, they'll look out for you. And I definitely say that they're also loyal and they know how to look out for the people around them, especially their friends and family. Cancers are really strong and they're also very intelligent. And I could even say they're quite calculating. They don't just make moves irrationally. They put a lot of thoughts in the things that they do. And I found that to be amazing. And it's also interesting to observe. If you're around a Cancer, you'll realize that the way that they think, the way that they progress things is quite brilliant. And I really like them. Most of my close friends are Cancers, and I just think that they are awesome. Sign is Gemini. Oh, Gemini. Gemini have earned the reputation of being smooth talkers, talkative, but another thing that people seem to overlook is Gemini's ability to teach. I've noticed that a lot of Geminis that I've met have great skills in explaining things. They know how to make people understand things that might be too difficult to grasp. I'll admit, there have been times where I just did not understand certain things, but once I've heard a Gemini say it, it suddenly makes sense. And I think they have the gift of the gab, not just to socialize, but they have a good way with words. They know how to explain things, they're well-spoken, and I really admire their teaching skills. Another thing that I like about Geminis is that they're always down to have a good time. If you're bored, if you're lonely, if you just don't know what to do with yourself, talk to a Gemini, and I'm sure they'll have something exciting for you to do with them that will just lift your spirits. They're great people to be around if you just want to feel good about yourself and to forget about your problems. They always have an idea, they always have a plan, and that can be a good distraction from problems. But generally speaking, Geminis are good people to be around. And whether you're their friend or not, Geminis are pretty easygoing. You won't have any problems just sitting with them, talking with them, and having a good time. And I really admire that. But generally, I also like the fact that they're great teachers. They know how to explain things, and it's never coming from a judgmental place. If they know something, they'll just share it with you, and it might just change your life and benefit you in one way or the other. Taurus suns are one of the most fun signs I've ever met. And Taurus placements in general know how to have a good time. They're really fun people with a really wild side. I like how they're able to just gel out, jam out. They know how to have a good time, and they're really funny people to be around. Taurus people aren't really as stubborn as they might actually get the reputation for, but they are very tenacious. I've met a lot of Taurus people who've gone through some difficulties in life, and the fact that they've never given up, regardless of the circumstances, is actually admirable. I like the fact that they're resilient and that they never give up. Another side of Taurus that often gets overlooked is that they really are gentlemen. The Taurus men are gentlemen, and the Taurus women are really ladies. They know how to carry themselves with class, they follow good etiquette, and they have really good manners. And I think in the society that we live in today, it's good to be around someone who actually puts effort in speaking well to others, being nice, being kind, being polite. And I think that the fact that they can be nice and polite and also be the wildest and craziest person you've ever met makes for a good balance. I always have fun when I'm with Taurus suns. We always have good memories together and we have a good time. And I definitely think that if you are close to a Taurus or if you get to know them, you'll also realize that they're pretty cool to be around. And they're honestly one of those people who don't get enough credit for just how fun they can be. I also like how intelligent Taurus people are. Although they are a little bit stubborn, they definitely bring a lot to the intellectual side. And if you want to know something and to just understand different concepts, talk to a Taurus. They probably know a lot. And that makes for fun conversations and different and interesting perspectives. And I definitely think it's cool that they can be classy and elegant. An Aries sign is probably the weirdest sign I've ever met. Aries get a reputation for being brave and bold and a little bit crazy, but most of the Aries I've actually met are weird and strange, and they make for very curious characters. I think a lot of people misunderstand the Aries, but I definitely think that they have a different way of thinking. They are thinkers, but they are also people who are open-minded and flexible. One thing I admire about Aries and the Aries archetype in general is that they don't take any nonsense from anyone. And a lot of people can be passive, they can be shady and throw subliminals, but Aries aren't like that. They're very straightforward and honest. And if you have a problem with an Aries, they won't really take offense that you have a problem. They'll probably even like you more because you are honest and forthcoming. They are one of the few signs where they won't hold it against you if you're angry at them or if you show your emotions. they tend to be quite forgiving and they move on pretty fast. And I really admire Aries for being the no grudge holding type, and you can always start afresh with them. Like if an Aries and you get into an altercation, they'll probably forgive you by next week, and you can have a normal conversation with them and just get along with them. They're very quite forgiving, and I like the fact that they can just go for what they want, and they don't really care about other people's opinions in getting what they want. And I definitely think for people who are struggling to do things, you should talk to an Aries because they're really good at encouraging others. They're great motivators, but they're also just weird. So that was my video on what I love about your sign, and that was part 2. So it was great talking about all of the signs. Remember, you are not just your sign, you're also an individual. Comment down below what your sign is. What do you think of the signs? I would love to hear what you have to say. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and to follow me on my social media, which will be on the screen. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below with your sun sign. I would love to hear what you have to say. Anyways, that's all from me. See you next time. Bye.